Good day, good day, good day, good day, good day, and welcome to episode 60 of the Impact Investing Show with your host, Samuel Ikhinmwin. Guys, I hope you're ready for today's show. Today, we're going to be talking about some really insightful aspects of property investing. So buckle your seatbelt and let's get ready to go. Now, first and foremost, if you are new to the Impact Investing Show, I would love to welcome you and give you a great hello wherever you're actually listening or tuning in from. And why don't you help us let us know that you're new by writing the word new in the chat. NEW, that's all you got to do. Write the word new in the chat and we will know that you're new. Now, side by side with that, those of you who have been here before, let us know that you've been here before with a BHB for being here before in the chat also. And let me welcome you guys also back to the Impact Investing Show. Guys, it's episode 60, so I'm absolutely pumped. Now, for those of you who do not know, this is the Impact Investing channel on YouTube where you get creative property investing on demand. Yes, you heard me say it. You get creative property investing on demand. So if you're one of those people who've said to yourself for years, for decades, for a bygone era, where am I going to get the money to actually invest in property? This is the show where you're going to learn exactly how. This is the channel where you're going to see exactly how. And this is the place to be in order for you to grow and develop in the how of how to do that exactly. Guys, I hope you're ready. I got Victoria in the chat who says, Sam. Hi, Victoria. Great to have you on the stream. Great to have you inside of the chat. Great to have you tuned in and plugged in for tonight's show. Now, guys, let me know. Don't be shy. Everybody else, let me know. Don't be shy. We can't have Victoria as the only person who's tuning in and saying hi. So let me know in the chat. Say a hi in the comments. Let us know that you're back again or that you're brand new. Now, episode 60, some of you who are tuning in new might be asking yourself, okay, why are we here? Let me tell you in a quick snapshot how we ended up being here. Last year, 2020, month of March, we got told to lock it all down. And when that actually happened, at the time, I was hosting one of the largest property investment networking events in the whole of the UK. We would attract over 100 people to the Canary Wharf property investment meeting every single month. And I was so used to going to those meetings on a monthly basis and having people line up at the end of the meeting and say, Samuel, how do I do this in property? Samuel, how do I do that in property? So much used to it that when we shifted to online networking events, it just wasn't the same. So it's funny because those of you who know me know that over the last week, I've actually been doing kind of mini audits and asking people in WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, hey guys, what do you think about starting up again our networking events? Because of the fact that a lot of things are easing up. The Prime Minister apparently is going to have another press conference later on in this month of June to inform us whether he's happy for us to move from the 6 people congregation to a wider audience. So I've been asking people what their thoughts are, what their feelings are, and I've got quite positive responses. So again, if you're one of those people who've been in one of those WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, and you've told me, you know what, Samuel, I'm all in, I'm number 1 or number 2. Those of you who are in those groups know what number 1 and number 2 stand for. Then guys, you know that I'm ready to go, and I hope you are ready to go also, as I usually are. So guys, you know, good day and welcome to the show. We're gonna jump right in. So coming back from that perspective of having people, 15 people, 20 people line up and ask me questions about their property investing journey at the end of every networking event months back, it kind of hit me as a shock when I got to that space where we were all locked down, we were all having networking events online, and I wasn't basically getting that same engagement that I'm used to. So I said to myself, you know what can I do? You know, I also had a number of people actually reaching out to me, but through means of Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, you know, Instagram, you know, in my DMs in Instagram. Guys, those of you who know that I don't know how to use Instagram properly. But guys, if you want to help me, what you can do is follow us on our Instagram handle, which is at Impact Properties London. No hyphens, no gaps, no dashes, no spaces. And it was just interesting having people kind of contact me through LinkedIn Messenger and all of these platforms asking for help without having the networking event there anymore. So I said to my team, I said, guys, look, what can we do in order to keep helping these people, keep helping people and supporting people to move forward and move further faster in their property investing journey? I was asking questions because I was interested in the answer. And my team said to me, Samuel, all you need to do is show up on a regular basis in order to help these people by answering their questions. And thus the Strategy in the Storm was born. The Impact Property Show was born. Thus this particular show was born. And we started off by just strategizing through the storm, you know, opening up the show, letting people ask questions. From their questions, basically get into a predicament where we would give give them answers, give them insights, help them move further, faster in their property investing journey. But then after about 15, 16 episodes, we started to realize, hold on a minute, if you take all the information that I'm actually sharing with people on these shows, all the strategies that I'm actually employing with people on the show, and you amalgamate them, you bring them all together, do you know what you've actually got? You've got the formula for how to successfully invest in property. And that's when we rebranded the show as How to Invest in Property, the Impact Property Investing Show. So guys, I hope you're going to be ready. I don't even know if ready is the actual word. I hope you are prepared. I think that's a better word. Hope you're prepared. Hope you've got your pens, your notepads, your iPads, your styluses, your tablets, whatever you need, so you can be ready to take notes throughout tonight's show. Tonight's show is going to be very, very interesting in terms of the things we are talking about. Now, those of you who haven't jumped into the chat, who haven't said hi, guys, listen, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I can see that there's a few of you who are all the way right in the back, and for some reason you guys are being hesitant to just say hi, but say hi. All right. And even if you don't say hi, I'm saying hi to you, because I want you to know that this is about a community. This is not just about Samuel Ikhinmwin jumping on the camera and saying to you guys, hey, this is what happens in property. No, this is a community live stream, and that's the reason why we choose to live stream rather than just throw out videos 2 hours long breaking down content as it pertains to property. So feel free to engage with us in the chat. Let us know. Let's build that community and allow people to connect in terms of moving further in their property investing journey. Now, look, side by side with all of that, if you haven't hit subscribe, if you're one of those people who have never ever subscribed to any YouTube channel, all right, and I'm saying that because I know there's people out there like that, people who never hit subscribe to any YouTube channel. I know there's people out there who never hit like on any YouTube video. I know there's people out there who think if they press subscribe or if they hit like or if they hit anything, the YouTube monster is going to come and tell everybody their address and their phone number. Guys, it doesn't work like that. All right, feel free to hit that like button, feel free to press that subscribe button, feel free to hit press that bell notification so you can get kept up to date with every single time we drop a video. All right, so guys, get involved. Get involved. Now, let's jump into the disclaimer. We've got a lot to uncover in today's show. Let me not tell you what we're going into yet. I'll tell you in a moment. But the disclaimer reads, all information provided and results given are exemplary. Each person's results may vary or differ. Results are based on consistent, yes, I said it, consistent implementation of strategies. And we advise that you always seek legal and financial advice from a qualified professional. Now, one of the biggest problems for most people is to actually find those astute qualified professionals. If you're looking for qualified professionals in the property field, feel free to let us know. You can email us at info@impactproperties.co.uk. And if that was too quick for you, jump into the description of the video. Every link we mention in any video is in the description. Okay, if we ever talk to you about a news article like we do probably every month, in the description, link to the news article. If we ever talk to you about an event that we're running, in the description, link will be in the description. If we ever talk to you about a program that we've run in the past or planning to run, link in the description. Okay, for those of you, like if you're my generation and older, you know that YouTube is not something that you just know how to use. You just watch videos. That's all we understand. That's all I understood. Okay, till I started actually live streaming and working with my team on this, I thought YouTube was just about watching videos. I didn't know that every single video I watch has a description which is yay long with so much content and information. Sometimes, guys, let me share this with you. I've come across YouTube videos where the links in the description, the information in the description is actually more detailed, more expansive than the actual content of the video. So again, I want to encourage you, if you're one of those people who YouTube is a new platform to you, and I don't mean like, oh, you've only been watching YouTube for a week. I mean, YouTube is a new platform to you in the sense, maybe like me, you've been watching YouTube for the last 10 years, but you've only realized that there's so much information in the description, etc., etc. Guys, jump into the description of the video. All of the links are there, all of the information's there, and use it to your advantage. Now, some people, I hear people saying, Samuel, you trying to upskill us on how to use YouTube? Yes, I'm trying to upskill you on how to use YouTube. And let me tell you why. Because if you get better at using YouTube, you will take more value away from YouTube. YouTube won't just be like reading a magazine. Little plug. Last edition of Property Investors News, but and a great big thank you as well. I know, I don't know if the chief editor Richard Bowser actually watches my show, but thank you to the Property Investors News team, because they send these magazines out to me every single month, and you know, they love me and I love them too. These magazines are very worth subscribing to and also reading to stay up to date with what's happening in the property world. But anyway, the point I was making is this. All right, I digress. The point I was making is, don't allow your YouTube consumption to be like the consumption of a magazine. Allow your YouTube consumption to be like the consumption of a book. Okay, I hope you understand what I just said to you, because if you take heed to what I just said to you, you will put yourself in a very strong position moving forward in your life. Okay, do not allow your YouTube consumption to be like the consumption of a magazine, but rather allow your YouTube consumption to be similar to your consumption of a book. Now, why would I say that? Well, the reason I'd say that is because most people don't do this in magazines. I don't know if you can see that, because come on guys, we got the technology, so let's make it happen. Check this out. All right, let's get you guys behind the scenes. Can you see that? Okay, you don't need to see the writing, but you can see what I'm talking about. You can see right here, we've got purple highlighter, green highlighter. We've got it all in there. Okay, so that's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is most people do not read magazines like that. Okay, when I read books, you know, I'm ferocious with a book. Let me put it that way. Okay, you can see here. Let me show you some more. If you guys want to see some more, just write in the chat. See some more. Okay, and I'll show you some more. You can see here in my books, I highlight. Not only do I highlight, I write. You can see across here, I'm writing. And the funniest thing is, what I was writing here is other books titles which share the same principle as this particular part of the book. So again, for anyone who's not been really plugged into the Impact Investing Show and you don't know what book this is Ogmendino's University of Success. This is a book that I've highly recommended on my family channel, my personal YouTube channel. I actually recommended this book as one of the 10 best books to read for your 2020 success. I did that video last year. And here, on the Impact Investing Show, I think on the 21 Days of Your Property Investing Success, which we did in January 2021, this was one of the resources that I recommended as well. So again, little plug for the book. The link for this book is not in the description because I didn't think I'd be plugging it. Neither is the link for the Property Investors News magazine. But if you're interested in that stuff, feel free to email us info@impactproperties.co.uk. Samuel, where can I get Ogmendino's University of Success from? Samuel, where can I get the Property Investors News magazine from? How can I jump onto a subscription of that, which is less than £8 a month, and you will get some very high level content as it pertains to property. So anyway, like I was saying, my key message to you guys in terms of talking about the book and the magazine is, don't allow your YouTube consumption to be like the reading of a magazine where you're going to pick it up, you're going to look at some pictures, you're going to say, oh, this is interesting, you're going to put it down on a coffee table and never consume again, never engage with it again. But rather, allow your YouTube consumption to be deep, allow it to have depth. This is one of the reasons why we actually do these live streams for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, etc., however long it takes, because we want to give you so much value that you guys understand, you know what, I can take that to the bank and use it. I can take that to the bank and make it of value to me. This is not just, oh, Samuel talking on the internet. This is actually me receiving the answers, receiving the insights, getting focused on how I can move forward in my property investing journey. And let me tell you something, guys, don't take this opportunity lightly. I'm going to say this one more time because some of you don't understand exactly what I'm talking about, and you need to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Don't take this opportunity lightly. Okay, you know, for some people to get strategy from Samuel Ikhinmwin, they're going on the link impactproperties.co.uk/booking, and they're booking a 30-minute consultation for free £400. Okay, or they're going on the link impactproperties.co.uk/booking, and they're booking a 60-minute strategy session for in the region of £500-600 at the time of the recording of this particular video, or at the time of this actual live stream. So what I want you to understand is, for you to be able to sit with me for an hour, for 2 hours, and just, you know, bounce ideas, you ask questions, strategize with me around your property concepts and ideas. Guys, I'm telling you, like, don't take it lightly. Utilize this. Okay, utilize this. Utilize me to the fullest. We got Nicola from FP Comms who's jumped into the chat. Nicola, great to see you on the stream tonight. Hi, to you too. Hope you're getting value already on the show from the little small principle that I've already shared. But guys, we're going to go deeper in because that's what we're doing tonight. Now, before I start to share with you guys exactly what I'm going to be breaking down to you guys on tonight's show, what I want to let you know is that I appreciate you. Now, every single person who's tuned into this show, whether it be, for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whether it be someone who hits the share button, whether it be someone who hits the like button, whether it be someone who's hit subscribe, someone who's massaged the bell notification, it doesn't matter what you've done in your engagement with this content. I just want to let you know that I appreciate you. Now, the reason why I'm showing so much appreciation is we are currently at 398, yes, 398 subscribers at the point of this video. Now, I shared our YouTube goal last video. That is to hit 3,000 subscribers. Okay, so that's close to a 10x of where we're at right now. So first and foremost, I'll say it again, if you haven't already hit subscribe, you know what to do. You know how to say, look, I want to be a part of this journey. All right, that's the first thing. If you haven't already hit subscribe, hit the subscribe button. But side by side with that, okay, besides the whole subscribe shebang, there it goes. Besides all of that, what I want to say to you is, if you're the kind of person who knows this content is of value to you, then please share it with other people, because there's going to be other people who can get value from this. And I'm just going to be honest with you, and this is not me trying to be big-headed. Didn't even want to come out there. This is not me trying to be big-headed. But I find that there's a lot of YouTubers out there, there's a lot of people out there, property people out there, who are not giving half as much value as you get on this channel, okay? And that is my observation, okay? So if those property people or those YouTubers have something to say, feel free. info@impactproperties.co.uk. Send us an email, let us know your complaints or your own critique and observations. But the thing I'm saying, which I think is quite important, is when you know you've got a lot of value and you know this channel's already helping people, shifting people's lives. Those of you who were with us last week, if you was with us last week, just put the letters LW in the chat. If anyone was tuned in last week, episode 59, I shared a testimonial of a professional athlete who basically, from a conversation with myself, from some help from myself and my team, was able to buy a house, okay? Was able to buy another house, let me put it that way. But the point is, this particular individual decided to come back and say, Samuel, thank you for what you did. Your words were what allowed us to be able to take this step. And now we have something we didn't have before. Now, the reason why this is important to me is because real human beings come back and say thank you. And they may be professional athletes, like in the case of the example we gave last week. They may be people who are not necessarily professional athletes. They may be normal people like you and me, okay? Yes, I classify myself as a normal person. Although financially free, I'm still a normal person just like you and me. So the point is, there are people who come back and say, you know what, Samuel, I got a lot of value from you. Samuel, that 30 minutes I spent with you. Samuel, that 60 minutes I spent with you, etc., etc., etc. So what I want you guys to do is take advantage of this time that we spend together. Send your questions in. If you've got property questions, let us know. Just say, Samuel, this is my question. Start with a Q, full stop, question, and ask your question, because we're here to help you, here to support you, here to push you forward on your property journey. And that all came from me sharing some appreciation. So guys, I appreciate you. KTR is in the stream. Hey KTR, hope to see you on this stream. Glad to see you on this stream and glad you decided to join us. KTR has been watching the content for a long time. She's also been on the 21 days of your property investing success that we did earlier on this year, as well as on our 5-day property finance bootcamp. KTR has also worked with me on a 6-month coaching program. So KTR, always great to have you on the stream. Now, if you guys have got any questions, throw them in the chat, throw them in the live chat, throw them in the comments. If you're watching after the fact, it's all good. We will push forward with today's show, episode 60. So where we going? This is where we're going. 4 ways to improve your property journey. You need to write that down, okay? That's where we're going into tonight's show. Hope you guys are ready. Hope you've buckled your seatbelts. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the secrets today. I'm going to be sharing with you guys on today's live stream, okay? Besides the news that we're going to be looking at, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 4 ways that you can improve your property investment journey. Now, everybody needs to hear this. It doesn't matter if you're brand new to property. It doesn't matter if you've done this property thing before. It doesn't matter if you've got £8 million worth of property. You need to understand these ways to improve your property investment journey. So that's what we're going to be sharing in today's stream. Are you ready? If you're ready, let me see the word ready in the chat for those people who are ready to learn about 4 ways that you can move forward, 4 ways that you can improve, 4 ways that you can make better your property investment journey. Let me know in the chat if you are with me. We're going to be discussing that very, very shortly. Now, before we do that, what I want to do is open up the news and share with you guys a very quick article which I recently found and thought was absolutely interesting. Now, there's a brand new scheme the government has started. Some of you will not even know about this. This started yesterday on Friday. Okay, and this scheme is all about helping people who are trying to buy property for the first time. I got Mandy in the chat who says ready. Mandy, welcome to the show. Let us know, Mandy, are you new to the show by writing the word new, or have you been here before by writing BHB, been here before? Great to have you on the stream regardless, Mandy, and welcome to the live show. So the government have just released a brand new scheme. Again, like I said, this scheme came out yesterday. Many people will not even be ready or aware of this particular scheme. But what we're going to be doing on today's show is we're going to be talking to you about this scheme. But not only are we going to be talking to you about this scheme, we're going to be talking to you about the ramifications of such schemes, because there are a lot of schemes that come out from the government. And in actual fact, one of the things I think I should say, which is quite interesting, is many of these schemes don't even work. Okay, they can't work. And the reason they can't work is it's not the government's fault, if I put it that way. Well, it technically is the government's fault because they create a scheme which is kind of lopsided. But at the same time, it is difficult to create a scheme that works for everyone. And I want you to understand that, because that's a very, very important factor. But nonetheless, and lo and behold, so the government creates multiple schemes at times, from time to time, which are meant to support or help individuals. Okay, Mandy says in the chat, very new. Thank you, Mandy. Great to have you on the stream, and welcome. Guys, let Mandy feel welcome. Say a hello to Mandy in the chat. Mandy also goes on to say it is first time to property investment. Well, still welcome even more. Whether you're new, whether you're advanced, whether you're experienced, this is the place where you get creative property investing on demand. So you're going to get some really good insights here, Mandy. So again, welcome to the show. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, feel free and comfortable, if you get value. And I premise that if you get value, to hit that subscribe button. And also, Mandy, do this for me, because you said you're new to property investment. If there's anything I say that doesn't make sense, anything I say that seems kind of over your head, just write the question in the chat. We will answer your questions. That's what we do on this show. So let's jump in. So news article came out. Okay, brand new piece of news. This was released on the 4th of June. So this is brand new news. Okay, and what's basically been broken down here, and I'm gonna go through this with you guys quite in depth, because I want you to understand this before we jump into the 4 keys that I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. Oh, I love that. Mandy says have done already. I love that so much. All right, so guys, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys on the stream 4 ways for you to improve your property investment journey on today's show. But before we do that, let's jump into this news article. So the news article reads, Government First Homes Plan offers half-price properties to first-time buyers. But data shows, okay, I want you to hear this, but data shows a 2-bed flat would still be unaffordable for 88% of Londoners. Okay, now guys, look, I want you to understand how interesting this is, and let's use the word interesting rather than using any other words. And guys, what I want you to remember, we're just still in the headline. Okay, we haven't even gone into the content yet. I want you to understand we have not yet gone into the content. Is everybody with me? All right, we're still in the headline, but can you see the oxymoron already? All right, so the Government First Homes Plan offers half-price properties. Okay, it goes on to say to first-time buyers, so this is who the plan is for. It's for first-time buyers, people that are buying their first properties. But data shows, okay, a 2-bed flat would still be unaffordable for 88, which is the majority, the overwhelming majority, actually, from a statistician's point of view, 88% of Londoners. Let's jump into the article. It says, the government's first home scheme launched today, meaning yesterday, Friday, June the 4th, as initial tranche of properties were put on the market in Bolsover, East Midlands. It goes on to say it will offer homes to first-time buyers with discounts between 30% and 50%. Now that is hefty discounts. Okay, and so many people don't realize the government's always running these kind of incentives that are very lucrative to people if they know what they're doing. But remember, one of the principles I teach on the show, what is that? Property investment and property ownership are two different things. Okay, so Mandy, anyone else who's new, write that down. Property investment and property ownership are two different things. Many people do not understand that. Many people think owning property is investing in property. You can own 100 properties and still not be investing in property. The act of investing is slightly different to just ownership, and I want people to understand that. But let's keep going deeper. Second point, again, it will offer homes to first-time buyers with discounts between 30% and 50%, helping them to buy with a lower deposit or bag a bigger property. Okay, and I want you to tune into that, or bag a bigger property, because that's very relevant as it pertains to some of the things I talk on the show, talk about on the show regularly. Third point, it goes, there could be a scramble, okay, for the homes as house prices continue to rise. It goes on to say, but experts say buyers could struggle to climb the ladder as they'll only be left with 50% to 70% of the home's value when they come to sell. So obviously you get an idea of what this particular Homes First scheme is all about. They're going to give you a major discount as you enter, but that same discount, that same proportion that you go in with a discount is going to be taken from you when you come out. Okay, so bear that in mind. So if you get 50% off of a property, let me break the numbers down for those of you who are like me, who are numbers people. You buy a house for 100,000 using this incentive, you may get a 50% discount, so you only have to buy it for 50,000, therefore not having a deposit or having a very small deposit, etc. But then when you sell the house, let's say in 10 years when it's worth 200,000, for example, you only get 100,000 of that because 50% is clawed back through means of this scheme. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Last bullet point, it says here, it could also work better in the North and Midlands where prices are less inflated. Let's jump into the article. It says first-time buyers in England could get a home for up to half the price after the government launched the new affordable housing scheme. The scheme is known as First Homes, and the first properties built under it went on the market in the East Midlands market town of Bolsover today. With house prices having surged by nearly 11% in the past year, property experts say there could be an influx of demand in the homes. It goes on to say, however, research by estate agent Savills has suggested that buying a typical two-bed flat, and it says here typical, not high-end, a typical two-bed flat under the scheme would still be unaffordable for 88% of households in the capital, which is London, and 68% in some areas of the southeast. The properties are built and marketed by house builders in the same way as any other new build, but must be sold with at least a 30% discount on their market value. Now, obviously, that gives you an indication already of what kind of percentage discounts are going to be offered. Most of these percentage discounts are not going to be 50%. They're probably going to be 30%, They're probably going to be 30%, all because of the fact that these discounts are done based on the developer themselves making that particular call. Okay, I'll read that again. The properties are built and marketed by house builders in the same way as any other new build, but must be sold with at least a 30% discount on their market value. It goes on to say if local councils approve it, that discount could be increased to 50%. Let's keep going. It goes, this will allow buyers to get on the housing ladder with a significantly lower deposit or to get a bigger property for their money. There's likely to be a scramble for properties under this scheme as they become available, said Tim Bannister, Director of Property Data at Rightmove. The scheme could help some people bring their plans forward or buy a bigger home than they were originally expecting to. Eligible buyers will need to get in quick to have the best chance of securing one. I'll read the next two paragraphs and then we'll jump out, or you let me know, guys, in the chat. Keep going is the term. If you want me to keep going into the next part, because the next part of the article talks about who qualifies for a first home package, etc. So if you want me to keep going into that, just write the words keep going, 2 words, keep going, and I'll keep going into that part of the article. But alternatively, I'm just going to read the last 2 mini paragraphs. It goes, according to the government, 1,500 more first homes will be put on the market this year, and then at least 10,000 per year or more in the years ahead. All right. It goes on to say in the last paragraph, however, property experts have raised some concerns about the scheme, including that it might be hard for those who use it to climb the property ladder because they will need to sell their first home on at a discount. Okay. Now, if you are one of the people who tuned into the live show 2 weeks ago, okay, 2 weeks ago, last week's show, okay, what we covered on last week's show was, let me come back to it. We covered last week the reasons you don't invest in property. So I went into the aspects of fear that people feel, the aspects of they don't have enough money, etc., etc., etc. These were all of the things we spoke about last week's show. The show before, we spoke a little bit about cryptocurrency, okay, and how cryptocurrency has a relationship with property investment. And then the week before that, so it was 3 weeks ago, the week before that, I spoke about 5 reasons why I choose property over any other investment vehicle, okay? Now, why is this important? The reason it's important is because one of the keys that I shared in terms of my 5 reasons why I choose property investment over a myriad of all this other stuff, over cryptocurrency, over stocks and shares. Yes, I own cryptocurrency. Yes, I've invested in stocks and shares for a number of years. Yes, I do a whole bunch of other things to generate wealth, which we're going to be talking about today in today's show as we talk about reasons, the 4 reasons I'm going to share with you today to improve, or the 4 ways that you can improve your property investment journey. But nonetheless, even though I invest in all of these other things, I still use property as my primary vehicle to generate wealth. Property is the vehicle I use to sack my boss. Property is the vehicle I use to sack my spouse's boss, my wife's boss. Property is always going to be that vehicle for me. Now, the reason I share all of this with you guys is because I want you to understand that this article is giving us an indication of something. It's saying people that go for this plan may be hindered in the long run. They may be hindered later down the line. And one of the things you need to understand is most people, when they make decisions in the property landscape, in the financial landscape, they make decisions for today. They don't make decisions for the long term. They don't make decisions thinking about their children properly. They make the decision thinking properly about today and loosely about the future. Oh, if I own another property, my child will inherit another house or inherit a house. But they don't actually think about the ramifications. Well, hold on a minute. If I go in with this plan and I ever sell this property, I only get out half of what I actually bought the property for. Now, because property generally, depending on location, etc., but because property generally is a lucrative asset class, what that means is this actually allows people to get in at their current level. What do they say? The old adage is cut their coat according to its size, okay? But the challenge is to understand that the rate of property prices increase at the same rate. So what do I mean by that? Well, to make it simple, let's say you're in Greenwich, okay? You're in the London Borough of Greenwich. You use this scheme and you're able to buy a 2-bedroom flat, okay? So you're one of the 12%, okay, outside of the 88% that this article states are going to struggle. So you're one of the 12%, you buy a flat in Greenwich, okay? Now, 10 years goes past, the flat doubles in price. So let's say you buy this flat for 300,000, it doubles to 600,000 in 10 years. Now, when you sell it for 600,000 in 10 years, you're going to liquidate roughly in the region of 300,000. Obviously, minus whatever you've paid for your mortgage, you can start looking at profit. But just to keep the number simple, you're going to liquidate half and walk away with half, 300,000. Why is this important? Let me tell you why this is important. Because your 2-bedroom flat, which might be typical, according to this article, yes, it doubled in value in 10 years, but so did everything else. So if you understand mathematically what that means is your 300,000 in 10 years isn't going to be able to buy you what 300,000 was able to allow you to access 10 years prior. Okay. I remember a pastor that I used to attend his church, and I remember driving with him one day down one road in East London. And I remember him saying, Samuel, I bought that house on this road for £30,000 15 years ago. Okay. And I remember thinking to myself, you don't look old enough to have bought a house 15 years ago, but it sticks with me every single day. The message that pastor said to me on that day in the car, because it reminds me that what we can do, £30,000 in London. You think about that. Someone tell me something. Comment in the chat. Comment in the live chat, or if you're watching this on replay, comment in the actual comments. Let me know, what are your thoughts about that? Someone telling me in East London they bought a house 15 years prior to the date I was talking to them, which was probably about 12 years ago. But they bought a house roughly nearly, it's not 30 years, but roughly around 27 years ago from the time I'm recording this video. They bought a house on that road for £30,000. That's close to unheard of right now. But let me tell you something. There are areas in the UK where houses are still £30,000. Now, does that mean in 27 years from now, they're going to be 300,000-400,000 like the house is probably valued today that this particular pastor bought for a tenth of its current value? It could be so. Okay, it could be so. This is the kind of stuff property does. All right, I got Mandy in the chat who says yes, please keep going. So because of that, we are going to jump in a little bit further into this article. Guys, if you are getting value from today's stream already, write the word value in the chat. Let me know if you're getting value from the stream already, and we will keep going. Remember guys, I've got for you 4 secrets, 4 ways that you can improve your property investing journey on tonight's show. So stick with me. I'm going to be jumping into those straight after this article. So who qualifies for a first home package? It says, as the name suggests, the purchasers of first homes will need to be first time buyers. This is not home movers. This is first time buyers. I hope you understand this, guys. First time buyers only. Are you buying a property for the first time in the UK? It goes on to say, if you are buying as a couple or other group, this applies to everyone. Now, this is powerful because one of the strategies that you can use to buy if you are a first time buyer is grouping with other people usually, and then utilizing their credit, utilizing their money and your first time buyership, if you use that as a language, in order to access a property. But what they're saying is with this plan, you can't do that. With this plan, every single person you group with, every single person you partner with in order to buy has to be a first time buyer, every single party. It goes on to say, the annual household income should not be more than £80,000 or £90,000 in Greater London. Now, look, I can tell you right now, if you do the calculations, people are definitely going to be left out in the London region. It's obvious. Okay, it's obvious. 2-bedroom flat on average in London, you're probably looking 280 to 300. Okay, average. If you look across the whole of London, you're probably going to be around the 300 region for an average 2-bedroom flat. Okay, and guys, does that mean 2-bedroom flats in your area are 300,000? No, you might be in an area of London where they're 220, 240, but equally, there's areas in London like Battersea where you're going to find a 2-bedroom flat for 500,000. So I think with my statistics hat on, just, finger in the air, I would say roughly looking at 300,000. Now, where's the problem? Where's the problem with that? Well, there's a few problems with that. First and foremost, for mortgageability, you need to be producing 4.5 times in terms of income for that mortgage. So let's do some maths really quick. Okay. If we're looking at a £300,000 house and we're taking away, let's say, a 30% discount, okay? So that leaves us with 70% of the value, which is 210,000, which is potentially going to end up on a mortgage. Now, if you divide that by 4.5, which is the maximum, you're going to need to have a 47K salary in order to access that. And not everybody's got that. Okay, not everybody's got that. Thankfully, I had something like that before I left work. But again, not everybody's got that, and I'm very well aware of that. So anyway, you can't have a household income that exceeds 80 or 90,000 in Greater London. It goes on to say there is a value cap on the homes too. The most expensive properties available under the first homes will be £420,000 in London and £250,000 in the rest of England. Now, I don't think that makes much sense. I don't think that's really wise. But again, that's just my 2 pence being thrown into the government's plan, as I usually do anyway. Samuel, why don't you think that's wise? You might be asking. I'll tell you why. One simple reason is because if you go to areas like Brighton, if you go to areas like Bournemouth, if you go to certain areas in the UK, I'm just being very, very honest with you guys, their prices are similar to London. If you go to Southampton, similar thing. You got prices similar to London. So if your prices are similar to London, why would you cap it at 420 for London and 250 for the rest of England? The rest of England is not just different to London. Okay, there are certain pockets which are very similar to London. So what they should have done, in my opinion, is a banding system where they basically said areas where they have the most expensive property will cap it at 420, for example. Areas where they have less expensive property will cap it at 250. But at the same time, I'm an opportunist, so I can see how that will create great opportunities for people who are first-time buyers. And maybe they don't want to create those level of opportunities. So that's all good. That's all good. But let's keep going. Guys, again, like I said, if you're getting value, I think Mandy's told us in the chat that she's getting value. Guys, if you are getting value, let us know you're getting value in the chat. So let's keep going anyway. So applicants will usually need to live, work, or have another connection, such as family members in the area where they want to buy their home. That's going to be an easy one for people to get around. So that's not a problem at all. It says there might also be extra criteria depending on where they live, because local councils are allowed to apply additional rules in their areas. Now, one of the reasons why this is going to be tricky is because what that means is generally every borough is going to have a different approach. Every council is going to have a different approach. So if you're one of the people who are on this stream and you're like, Samuel, you know what? That sounds great. I'm going to jump into that. I just want you to be wise enough to understand that you're going to have to find out from your specific location what's going on. Because if you don't do that, you obviously may fall foul of not knowing the specifics in your specific area, which is going to be important. Let's keep going. It says, for example, they might lower the maximum household income or give priority to key workers, which obviously makes sense because there's this big thing about key workers going on across the country right now. It says if they lower the maximum income, though, they will need to keep it at a level where buyers would still be likely to be approved for a 95% mortgage, which again goes back to what I was talking about earlier in terms of affordability. It goes on to say who can afford a first home. Now let's read this. It says some say that first homes will still be unaffordable to people on average incomes, especially in high value areas such as London. The average house price in London is now over £500,000. That's my point earlier on. According to the Land Registry, says Olivia Harris, chief executive of affordable housing provider Dolphin Living. A first home with a 30%, this is very interesting, a first home with a 30% discount will therefore cost around £350,000, which is not affordable to a London median earner defined by HMRC in 2018 as being on £26,300. Like I said earlier, some people are not going to have it. It goes on to say it would be possible, I think they mean, no, okay, I'm reading it wrong. It would possibly be affordable to a dual income household, but they'd need a deposit of at least £35,000, which again would be 5% or 10% of 350, which puts this out of the reach for many people again. So Savills have done some numbers here on first homes, which hopefully is going to be helpful for people. Let's have a quick look into what Savills have done here. They've basically said these are the particular regions: London, Southeast, East of England, Southwest, etc. Price of a 700 square foot 2-bedroom first home. Obviously, like I said, roughly 2-bedroom average price in London, 318,000. So roughly I was quite close to that. Income needed with 15% deposit and 4 times loan to the actual value or loan to income is 67,600. So they're doing 4 times, which is more typical. I did 4.5 times, which is kind of the stretch number, which again, a good mortgage broker can get for you. And guys, if you need a good mortgage broker, links in the description, send us an email and we can hook that up for you. But you can see here, 67,600 is the income they're going to be expecting people to have. It goes on to say proportion of households with required income, 12%. So again, this is where they get the statistic that 88% of people will be left out. And it goes on to say the regional median household income in 2020 was actually 38,500, which is closer to half of what is actually going to be needed. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? I'd love to know, what are your thoughts? If you're watching this on the replay, let us know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this first home package that's been brought out by the government? And if you're one of the people who are with me, my lovely people who are with me live, let me know in the chat. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a good incentive? Do you think it's one that's going to help? Do you think people are going to be move forward with this? What do you think? What do you think? I got Nicola in the chat. She says this is so helpful. Nicola, expand for me, please. When you say this is so helpful, are you talking about me breaking down the news? Are you talking about me going into the intricacies? Are you talking about me following Mandy's advice and keeping on going? Or are you talking about the specific offer that they're giving? Let us know a little bit more, Nicola, in the chat. What is so helpful based on your comment? But thank you for that comment ever so much. But let's expand on that. I'd love to have a conversation around this with you guys in the chat who are with me live, just to understand more about what you guys as the viewers of this channel actually think about incentives like this that the government actually put on. Now, whilst you guys are doing that, letting me know what your thoughts are. Like I said, if you haven't hit that like button, hit the like button. Haven't hit subscribe, hit subscribe. If you haven't hit the bell notification, massage, hit, slap, clap that bell notification so you can stay up to date with every single time we drop a video. Now, as you guys keep pushing forward in the chat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the second segment where I basically said to you guys, I'm going to be sharing with you guys not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 ways to improve your property investing journey. Okay, now we've jumped into the news, opened up that piece of insight, and I thought that was hopefully helpful for you. What I'm going to do as I break through these 4 ways that you can actually transform I would actually use that word, because I did say last week our channel is all about helping you transform in terms of the things that you're doing. What I'm going to do is I break down these 4 ways that you can transform your property investing journey. Is I'm also going to open up the phone lines, and that is going to allow you guys to call in if you've got specific property questions that you would like me to strategize with you on, or you'd like me to help you answer, etc., etc. So feel free to call in. Phone line is now open: 0330 606 0403. Access code is on the screen. If you would like to call in and ask a specific question about your property investing journey and you'd like me to strategize with you over the call, I'm happy to do so. We'll go live and give you that value. So let us know: 0330 606 0403. Access code is on the screen. Now, number 1, okay, as we talk today about the 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 ways for you to improve your property investment journey. Are you guys ready? Okay. Are you guys ready? Thank you, KTR. I've got KTR throwing in the chat her views on the scheme. Are you guys ready for the first way? Let's jump into what KTR said, and then I'm going to jump into the first way for you guys. KTR says it would be a helpful scheme if they adjust the affordability calculations to get a mortgage in London. KTR, I totally agree with you. And I think that's a very powerful and insightful comment. Guys, let us know. Throw your comments in, guys. Okay, don't be slack as it pertains to the comments. Let us know in the chat what you guys think as it pertains to the specific offer that they're making with this first homes package. But let's jump into it. And again, whilst you guys do that, I'll jump into these principles and I'll come back to these chat comments and we will definitely deep dive into them. And again, if you got questions, feel free to let us know in the chat. And if you want to call in, the phone line is now currently open. Feel free to call in if you got any particular property questions you want us to really deep dive into. Now, number 1, first way that you can radically improve your property investment journey. And this is coming off the principle of time, okay? Because what most people don't realize is money you can make back, okay? Friends, not necessarily the same friend, but friends and relationships you can mend, you can repair, you can make back. But time, as they proverbially say, waits for no man. So this first principle is all about how you rescue time, how you invest your time, and how you, if you like that statement, I don't like the statement, but how you can save time. And check this out. The first thing you need to do in order to radically improve your property investment journey is work with tried and tested strategies to save you time. Okay. You need to write that down if you haven't written it down already. That is a power bomb of a principle. And many people get this one wrong. Okay. Most people, when they go into property, are dillying and dallying. Okay. Most people, when they go into property, are hoping on luck. Most people, when they go into property, are wishing and waiting to see if what they're trying to do actually works. I heard a principle when I was really young in property, when I was probably in my first year of property, came from actually one of my property coaches, and he said something so powerful. He said, listen, we make our money when we buy, okay? And this is a principle I've been teaching my coaching clients for years, and it's just so true. You make your money in property investment when you buy. Let me help you with that, okay? So this isn't obviously a masterclass where I can really break down the principle, but this is a forum where I can give you enough insight for you to use the principle. So check this out. If you want to understand what I mean, the heart behind what I mean when I say we make your money, you make your money, we make our money when we buy in property, what I'm basically saying to you is at the time you buy a property, you should know that this is a great investment. It should not be if in 10 years the price of property goes up, then I know I've bought something good. It should not be if in 5 years this property doubles in value, then I know I've bought so if in 3 years the shopping center finishes getting built, then I'll know I bought. No, listen guys, let me tell you something. If you want to radically change your property investment journey and succeed on a whole nother level, one of the things you're going to have to get really good at, one of the things I had to get really good at, is managing my time. And the key to managing my time was using tried and tested success principles in terms of my property journey. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when I say tried and tested success principles, I'm talking about strategies that I knew were going to work, strategies that I weren't guessing. Is this going to work? If I do this, is it going to work? Let me tell you something. Short lease as a strategy, okay? Now, for some of you, maybe some of the strategies I'm going to talk about are going to go over your head. That's okay, all right? If you're interested, you can go and get this resource, okay? All you need to do is go to the link sourcingblueprint.com, get the free sourcing blueprint. Straight after you get the sourcing blueprint, the team have told me that we have the offer back on. You get the program, the video program, absolutely free. Just pay shipping, $7.95. This will be shipped to your address. Go get the 30 ways in 30 days training. Now, why is the 30 ways in 30 days training so powerful, so valuable? This is why it's so valuable and so powerful. Because this training resource breaks down for you not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, etc., but 30 different ways you can make money using property as a vehicle. And like I said to you, if you understand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30 different ways that you can generate revenue using property as a vehicle, let me tell you what you're going to do for yourself. You're going to save time. You're not going to be trying out strategies and working out if the strategy works. You're not going to be saying, well, I'll buy here and see if I'm going to make money. We make our money, guys, for those of you taking notes, write this down. We make our money in property investment when we buy, okay? You're going to know when you go into a great deal that this is a great deal. You're going to know it. You're not going to have apprehension. You might have apprehension in the sense that this is the first time I'm doing this. This is why on our 7-module online program, which we teach people, the first module is all about mindset. Because most people don't realize sometimes they sabotage their own success when they see a great deal, okay? So you're not going to have the apprehension from the numbers. You're not going to have an apprehension from the deal. You may have the apprehension from, this is the first time I'm doing this. You may have your apprehension from, this is the first time I'm trying something new. You may have apprehension in those faculties. But in the faculty of actually investing in the deal, you're going to know the deal makes sense if it's a good deal. And if you're one of those people who have no idea what a good deal is, go get yourself this resource, okay? What does it say? 30 ways in 30 days, multiple ways to generate revenue using property, okay? By Samuel Ikhinmwin. Multiple ways, not one way, not two way, 30 ways in this program. So in that program, I break down for you guys 30 ways that you can use to make revenue in property. Okay, so that's important because the first principle out of the 4 principles that you need to use in order to make sure you radically improve your property investment journey is for you to use tried and tested strategies. Don't go into property trying to use strategies that you have no idea if people have been using before. You see, right now, for the last 2 years, probably I'll say the last 24 months, we've had the big fad of BRRRR. We've had people jump on our show, talk about BRRR. I've done a video probably about over a year and a half ago about BRR. For those of you who are tuned in, who have no idea what BRRR is, in America, they call it the BRRR strategy. In the UK, we call it the B Alpha Romeo, Alpha Romeo, Alpha Romeo, Alpha Romeo strategy. And different people put different amounts of R's on it. Now, what does it stand for? Well, it stands for buy, okay, because you buy a property, refurbish, because you then refurbish the property, refinance, because then you refinance the property, and then rent, because then you rent the property. And some people who add a fourth R, but a fifth letter to the acronym, they put the R for repeat. Because obviously, if you're going to buy something, refurbish it, refinance it, buy something, refurbish it, rent it, and refinance it, and it all makes sense, you're going to repeat that. You're going to repeat that. You have to repeat that. Why? Because you're probably taking out most of the money you ended up putting in the first place. Okay. So the reason why this is important is because this strategy for the last 2 years has just been on fire in the UK. All of these property coaches and teachers are talking about it. All of these property people are talking about it. But look, I say this all the time, guys. These strategies are not new. These are old, tried and tested strategies. Now, when I learned that strategy about, where are we at now? So that would have been 2007, okay? So we're in 2021. So you can do the maths, okay? That's what, 14 years ago. So I learned that strategy 14 years ago. And it wasn't called the BRRR strategy, as they call it in America. And it wasn't called buy, refurbish, refinance, repeat, or rent. It wasn't called that either, okay? So sometimes this is where confusion comes because people are doing the same thing, calling it different names. And people get lost rather than realizing, because they understand the central faculties of the strategy, that, hold on a minute, that's just momentum investing, because that was the name of it when I learned it in 2007. Okay. Or if you're from the East End, you might have heard of the rinse and repeat strategy. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Momentum investing, rinse and repeat, or the BRRRR strategy, or BRRRR. It's the same thing, guys. It's the same thing. And this is what I want people to start to understand. The tried and tested strategies will always come up to the top. They will always float up back to the top. Oh my gosh, here it goes. Nicola's got me already. So Nicola just threw in the chat. I'm gonna share this before I shift into principle number 2, because this is encouraging, guys. Remember what I said last week? I think Nicola missed last week's show as well, because I remember, Nicola, you messaged me and said you weren't gonna make last week's show. This is the funniest thing. Nicola throws in the chat, Samuel, you are inspiring me to start investing in property. Your advice and breakdown is making me feel more comfortable with this space. You know, property was not my bag, but this is all helpful. Thank you ever so much, Nicola. So this is what Nicola meant when she wrote, this is helpful. Guys, listen, let me tell you this, okay? You know I'm not a mind reader, but look at this. Nicola says this is so helpful, okay? And I read that comment and think, okay, what is she talking about specifically? But that's great news. But when you get a power bomb like this, clearly articulating what Nicola's saying, you start to understand, look, this stuff we're talking about is transformational. And guys, I said it last week on the show. Last week when I spoke about the 5 reasons why you don't invest in property, I said to you guys that for many people, they don't realize that this kind of content is transformational. And this is the reason I tell you to hit share. This is the reason I tell you to hit like. This is the reason I tell you to hit subscribe. Obviously, you need to subscribe so you can keep getting the content, and also so we can hit our YouTube goal of 3,000 subscribers. But side by side with that, you need to share it so other people who aren't comfortable with property can say to themselves, you know what, Samuel broke that down so deeply, I'm actually interested. Guys, let me tell you something. I didn't spend multiple years as a teacher trainer teaching teachers how to teach. I didn't spend multiple years as an A-level maths teacher and a secondary maths teacher teaching young people how to understand numbers and become very astute with numeracy in order for me to now go into property and just come on here and jazz you up for 2 hours. Guys, I'm here to help you guys get the keys. I think the keys are all up there now, but to get the keys so you guys can move further faster. And there's some people who tune into this stuff. Okay, I'm going in right now. I'm going to say it. There are some people who tune into this stuff who don't want the keys. They don't care about the keys. They just want the money. Okay? And that's okay too. All right. I'm not concerned about what you want to take this and do, as long as hopefully you want to take this and do something ethical. But if you're doing property for the money, so you can sack your boss, sack your spouse's boss, and go on to do some damage in terms of your goals, your visions, and your dreams, then guys, we're on the same page. I'm here to help you. Okay. And if like Nicola and if like me, you're not necessarily out here for the money, but you're actually out here for the social change, you're actually out here to help people move further faster in their life in a specific vernacular, then guys, again, we're here for you. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. So I guess this is a great point to say what I've said several times in the video, but I think I might as well say it again just to say it. If you guys haven't hit that like button, you know what to do. All right. Let's keep going. Mandy says, I need the help big time. Mandy, this is what we're here for. This is exactly what we are here for. Okay. And what I usually say to people is there's no question too big, no question too small. This is the platform where we help you get creative property investing on demand. We want you to move further faster in your property investing journey. So come and join the club. All right. Cool. So with all that being said, let's keep going deeper. First principle. Okay. The first thing you need to do in order for you to move forward in your property investing journey and to succeed on a whole nother level is start to use tried and tested strategies. Don't try to fluke it, guys. Don't try to fluke it. I remember when I was 16, 17, I used to go and play pool with some of my friends from school, and we'd play pool and, you know, you'd do some crazy move. You'd hit that ball. The ball would go around, pot 2, 3 balls, and people would be like, oh, that's a fluke. And yeah, it was a fluke. I had no idea what I was doing. Okay. I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't an expert, but you know, the funniest thing, You can connect with an expert. You can connect with a Ronnie O'Sullivan. You can connect with someone who's special in that field and get insight. You can connect with someone who's further along, who's moved further faster in property investing, who's paid 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever it may have cost for them to develop themselves and learn and extrapolate information. And you can condense. You can do exactly what one of my first ever coaches said to me: Samuel, why take 70 years to learn what you can learn in an hour, in 7 hours, by reading the book of someone who took 70 years to be able to write the book? You see, we need to start to think about this kind of stuff. We need to start to think about this kind of stuff, not just for ourselves, but also for our children, our children's children, for our generations. We need to start to think about this kind of stuff. Sometimes for our parents. You know, some of us are at that age where our parents are getting old. Our parents need our support. They need our help. Are you financially in a position? Let me tell you something. You see, so many people are trusting in their salary income, and that's okay if that's what you want to do. But what I want to assure you is this: if you are currently living paycheck to paycheck and any drama introduces itself into your life, your parents have a fall and as a result need you to start to care for them, or you know, you have a child who is born with some kind of disability, or guys, you know, I don't want to start talking about all these negative things that happen in this world, but these are things that do actually occur. And you guys, as my viewers, you're real people. Like, I'm a real person, so you know what I'm talking about, the realities of life. If any real drama introduces itself to your life, a redundancy, for example, let me tell you something: unless you have a fallback plan, you can imagine what your life can look like in an instant. Okay. And the reason I'm saying this, guys, is because I was told at the age of 19 by a mentor, Samuel, don't take 70 years to learn what you can learn in 7 hours by reading the book of someone who had to take 70 years to be able to write that book. And I want to share the same thing to you. Don't go and spend £70,000 on property mistakes when you can come and sit with me, when you can come and pay £8 for shipping, when you can get some of our resources. Look, let me put it this way. I think currently on that same link I spoke about, all 3 of these video programs are less than £25. Okay, don't quote me, but I'm close. Let me give you a number to guarantee. All 3 of these video programs, you pay for shipping £8 per DVD, so 8, 16, 24, less than £30. All 3 of these video training programs will be shipped to your house. Why am I telling you to do that? You know what? I'm not telling you to do that because this makes me money. Guys, the content in here is worth well over the £8 shipping you're going to pay. The reason I'm telling you to engage with these resources is because I don't want you to find yourself buying a house, trying to refurb a house, and halfway through the process, oh, I don't even know what power team members I need. Oh, I don't even know what strategy I'm really doing. Oh, my architect said this word. I don't even know what the word means. You see, both the 30 ways in 30 days, where I break down 30 different strategies for you, both the Team 10 resource, where I break down the 10 key players you need to build a successful property power team, as well as the Property Investors A to Z of terms, where I break down from the letter A to the letter Z key vocabulary in the property space. Guys, you know why I'm sharing those resources with you? Because I understand that these resources are the fundamentals for people to be able to move further faster in their property investing journey. Go to the link, guys, sourcingblueprint.com. Go and get the free sourcing blueprint, and straight after that, click through and go get your free training programs. Get as many as you can. Even get the instant access. Start watching that straight after this stream. The reason I'm telling you this, guys, is because I want you to understand that, as Mandy says, she needs the help big time. As Nicola says, this is so helpful. What I want you guys to understand is, if you use this stuff, you will be able to navigate through the scenarios, through the predicaments at an advantage to other people. Let me tell you something I say to people all the time. Property investing is not taught in school, but there are people like me, true teachers and coaches, who will school you in property investing, so you're not left out in the cold. So the first principle, the first secret that I wanted to share with you guys, the first secret insight I wanted to give you guys, the first leg up I wanted to help you guys with, in order to help you improve. Okay, I'm going to say it again, in order to help you improve your property investing journey, was work with tried and tested strategies to save you time. Work with tried and tested strategies so you're investing your time rather than wasting your time. Okay. Second one, develop yourself continuously. And this is the reason why I'm talking about these resources. Okay, guys, because I'm not about trying to plug myself. I'm about trying to help you move further faster. You need to develop yourself continuously. Now, someone might say, yep, Samuel's telling you develop yourself continuously. Samuel doesn't develop himself continuously. Listen, guys, we are in the month of June, okay? In the month of May, I paid over $1,000 on training for myself personally, okay? And this is something I do regularly, okay? Why do I invest so much in me? Because I'm worth it, baby, okay? Is it L'Oreal? Guys, the ladies in the chat, let me know in the live stream chat. All right, this way. Let me know right here. Let me know in the live stream chat. Is it L'Oreal that does the advert because I'm worth it? Let me know, guys. All right. I do not use L'Oreal products, guys. This is not a plug for L'Oreal. What do they say? No sponsorship here. Okay. We've got no brand deals with L'Oreal. So this is not my attempt to plug L'Oreal. But I think it's L'Oreal who says because you're worth it. That's the old school one. But the point I'm making, guys, the reason I'm bringing this up is I want you to understand that you need to develop yourself continuously. This is why at my office desk, I can show you guys book after book after book after book after book after book. I can do, you know why I can do that, guys? Not because I'm a magician, all right? Because I'm not into magic. I don't like magic, all right? Magic doesn't fit with my lifestyle, all right? But the reason I can show you guys book after book after book after book after book right at my desk after book and even start dropping some books. The reason I can do that, guys, is because I am continuously developing myself. Always, guys. Development doesn't slow down in my life. There might be seasons where I'm taking a step back and I spend more time journaling and reflecting and kind of doing what we call metacognition, which I taught you guys on the 21 days of your property investing success. Anyone who was with us on the 21 days of your property investing success, I know I'm an outstanding teacher. So watch this. Can someone define in the chat what metacognition means, please? Okay. And I don't mean define it by searching Google and copying and pasting. Any person who joined us on the 21 days of your property investing success, I'd like you to define for us in the chat, what does the word metacognition mean? Because that was one of the concepts I taught you guys on the 21 days of your property investing success. Absolutely free content. Why? Because I understand that you guys need to move further faster, but it starts with developing yourself. You know, self-development, guys, is so crucial in this day and age. I got KTR with the answer, always quick to type. Thank you ever so much, KTR. We appreciate you. Okay? The answer's right there, guys, in the chat right now. For those of you who are watching on a replay, I'm going to show it to you in a moment. I got to let you wait and ruminate and think to yourself, maybe I should have been on the live show. Yeah, you should have been on the live show. But this is the reality, guys. We need to develop ourselves continuously. We need to develop ourselves continuously. And yes, like KTR saying, sometimes I'll switch into the metacognition gear where I'm thinking about my thinking, where I'm taking a step back, where I'm reflecting. How has that book actually impacted my life? How did that training actually impact my life? How did that course actually impact my life? How did that new coach impact my life? How did my old coach impact my life? What are the things I've actually added on to myself as a result of this? What property strategies can I now do that I couldn't do before as a result of this resource? Yes, there's times where I sit back in reflection and think about how I think and activate metacognition, which is rightly said by KTR, simply defined as thinking about my thinking. But the reality is, guys, consistently, again and again and again, Samuel Ikhinmwin is investing his time in developing himself. And I want to encourage you in your property investing journey. If you radically want to improve your property investing journey, do not stop investing in yourself. Okay? This is one of the big things a lot of people do in any career. If you're trying to take a career seriously, don't stop investing in yourself. And look, yeah, it's plug time. Let's do it. Okay? I'm not sponsored by Property Investors News. I am not sponsored by them. Okay? But I want to share this with you to give you guys an insight. Magazines like this will help you. Okay? Magazines like this are how you invest in the development of yourself in the property space. Let me break this down for you. Okay? Property Investor News. It says the magazine giving analysis, news, and research on property investment. Enough said. The point I want to make to you guys is to start thinking, how can I actually develop myself continually as it pertains to my property investing journey? And guys, look, I'll say this. For some of you haven't got the time. I get it. For some of you don't have the time. I get it. But you know what you can do? You can tune into a podcast. For some of you don't have the time. I get it. But you know what? You can watch the live show. You see, look at Nicola. Nicola has a thriving business, FP Comms, where she helps people with brand recognition through means of PR, public relations, for those of you who don't know what PR is. So although Nicola helps people to strategize with PR, although Nicola helps people to push forward in PR, Nicola's been tuning into our show. And Nicola has said to me before, Samuel, I'm not interested in property, but if I ever feel like I need to do something, I'll come and speak to you. But Nicola says today, you're inspiring me to start investing in property. Your advice and breakdown is making me feel more comfortable with this space. This is the result of actually developing yourself continually. You see, if Nicola didn't jump on 1, 2, 3, 4 live shows, Nicola wouldn't have that comfortability. The comfortability is coming from the repeated methodologies that she's hearing and understanding. Hold on a minute. I get that. I can do that. I get that. That's possible. I get that. In my own current position, I could do that. This is the funniest thing. You see, some people who tuned into this show today, whether you're live or whether you're watching on the replay, are going to be saying to themselves, I thank God that I tuned into Samuel's 60th episode, because on the 60th episode, he made me aware that there's a first time buyer's package that's just been released yesterday, which I could potentially jump onto and potentially get a 30%, 50% discount on a property, which I've been trying to do for years. For some people, just the fact that I shared that news article is a life changer for them. Let me tell you something. If that news article I shared with you earlier on becomes relevant to you, i.e. you're able to use that to access a property acquisition, I would implore you to come back to the show at some point, come back to my team at some point and just say thank you and just let us know. And let me tell you why. Because you may not understand how deep property can change generations. You may not understand. Do you know statistically? Let me break some statistics. Do you want the stats? Okay. Give us the stats. Let me see that in the chat. If you guys want the stats, I'll give you some stats. Okay. Just write in the chat, give us some stats. If I see give us some stats from 3 people in the chat, if the live stream gives me give us some stats 3 times, stats, STATS. If you guys want the statistics and you say give us the stats 3 times, 3 different people, I'm making the rule, 3 separate people say give us the stats in the chat. What I'm going to do is share with you guys at least 3 statistics I'm aware of that are going to help you understand the power of property. Okay? But let's keep going. Number 2, develop yourself continuously. Let me tell you something. Self-development is not a joke. Self-development is what you need. Self-development is what is going to transform our world. If everyone in this world transformed themselves by developing themselves, we'd have a whole different world. We wouldn't have a world that was littered in World War II by the acts and affairs of Adolf Hitler. Why? Because self-development would allow people to come out of the stupor that people are in when silly government officials make silly comments and create silly regimes as a result. Okay? We would come out of that. We'd be like, no, hold on, that doesn't make sense. Hold on, you know what? That's not right. Hold on, you know what? I'm doing something else. Okay? Continually develop yourself. It's one of the ways that you will radically improve your property investment journey. Let's jump into number 3. Reinvest what you make. Okay? I'm going to say this again. I want you to write this down. All right? Reinvest what you make to build your next set of reserves. Listen, those guys at the back, I need to talk to you. If you want to considerably succeed in property, if you want to considerably improve your property investment journey, let me tell you what you need to do. Is one simple hack. You need to reinvest what you make in order to prepare yourself, in order to build reserves for your next property venture. Hopefully you wrote that down. Hopefully you've written that down. Look, here's a pen. Write it down. You need to reinvest, guys, what you make. Reinvest what you make in order to build your next set of property reserves. Why is this so powerful? Okay? Why is this so powerful? To reinvest what you actually make in order to get ready for your next set of property reserves. And look, I'm gonna deal with a myth in a moment also, which I think is gonna help you guys. The reason it's so powerful and so important to reinvest what you make, I said it earlier on in the show, a principle I always share. There's a difference between home ownership and property investment. There's a difference between property ownership and property investment. Now, the reason it's so important to understand that principle is because if you are a property investor, you treat your property investment like a business. You treat property investing like a business. And what most people do in a business is they reinvest their profits in order to build that business and make that business more and more successful. They will reinvest their revenues to make that business more and more successful. And what happens is the business just ends up snowballing. If things go well and things are successful, the business just ends up snowballing to a degree that the business now doesn't only create revenue, but it creates revenue beyond the amount you can reinvest. Okay? Why is this important? This is important because this is what you need to do if you are taking property investment seriously. Okay, I need one more give us the stats for me to give you the stats. You see, when you are reinvesting on a regular basis, the profits you're making, the money you're making, when you're reinvesting it, guys, do you know what you're doing? You're setting yourself up for success. And here's the myth. The myth is, I have to reinvest in property. No, you don't. So I shared with you guys about 4 weeks ago that I've been investing in cryptocurrency since 2017. I shared with you guys that I have about 3 to 4, I think it's 3. I have 3 passive streams of income. And I say passive because I don't touch anything to do with those things and they generate revenue. Okay. And that's besides the other things I do in property. That's besides my cryptocurrency investment. That's besides a few other things. The point I'm making is I want you to understand this. Okay. Why do you think I put my money into these other mechanisms? Why do you think I, in 2017, decided to buy cryptocurrency? Why do you think years ago I started buying stocks and shares? Why do you think I did that? Do you think I did that because I want to speculate and I want to be like, oh, this business is going to double in value in 10 years? No, guys. I did that because I was trying to I am strategically reinvesting what I make from property to build up my next set of reserves. And you need to do that too. You don't have to reinvest it into property. Okay? You don't have to. You don't have to reinvest it into property. Okay? What you could do is say to yourself, well, hold on a minute. I only made 20,000 on my last flip. If you don't know what a flip is, go to that link, sourcingblueprint.com. Go get the 30 Ways in 30 Days training program. And before you finish watching that resource, you will know what a flip is. You see, you might flip a property and walk away with £20,000. Then when you walk away with £20,000, let's say this is post-tax. So you've paid tax, paid all of your expenses, £20,000 in the bank. Now, you might say to yourself, £20,000 isn't enough to put down a deposit on another property. That might be what you say. If £20,000 isn't enough to put down on another property, couldn't you reinvest the £20,000 in order to build or to start to build your next set of reserves? And the answer to that is yes. The answer to that is yes. By simply reinvesting the income you generate. You see, what most people do is they make money and they buy another watch. What most people do is they make money and they buy another car. What most people do is they make money and they go on another holiday. What most people do is make money and buy another device, another iPad, tablet, another. And most people are consumers, okay? And that's okay. That's what most people are. And it's not by choice, guys. I want to say that it's by education. Okay, most people are educated into being consumers. What do you mean, Samuel? Well, the lessons most people go through every day are on billboards. That's the mini whiteboards or the whiteboards that your teacher is using. When Marks and Spencer's put up an advert of that new suit on a bus or on a billboard, that's like a whiteboard in a classroom speaking to me, telling me your lesson is go buy a brand new suit from Marks and Spencer's, go buy a brand new suit from Armani, go buy a brand new suit from Hugo Boss, etc., etc. So most people are educated into consumerism, okay? And what I want you to be is a consumer of assets. I want you to be the kind of person who takes £20,000 and says, I'm putting this into some form of asset so it can accumulate for me, and then I can utilize this to put into more property investment. So number one was work with tried and tested strategies in order to save you time. Number two was develop yourself continually with training resources like we have at sourcingblueprint.com. Number three is reinvest. Okay, reinvest what you make to build your capital reserves for your next property opportunity. All right. So I've got here from Nicola, give us the stats, please. I've got KTR. She says, give us the stats. I've got Mandy. She says, give us some stats. So let's jump into the stats. Okay. And guys, listen, if you are getting value on this show today and you haven't written in the chat value, you haven't told us you're getting value, let us know in the chat you're getting value. Side by side with that, if you're watching on the replay or if you're with us live and you haven't hit that like button, press subscribe, hit the bell notification, you know what to do. We got a goal, 3,000 subscribers, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I want to get there. Now let's jump into the stats. First thing, okay, and I'm only going to talk about this because we've had riots over the last couple years, okay? Do you know that in areas which have a higher rate of home ownership, okay, that there are lower percentages of riots which occur? Did you know that? Did you know that? Go look at the stats, guys. Statistically, areas where there are higher proportions of home owners are areas where there is a lower likelihood of rioting that takes place. Statistically proven. Okay, that's one statistic to help you guys understand the power of home ownership. You see, home ownership can actually deter rioting in your area. Now, why is this? Let me break some of the concepts down. Why is this? One of the reasons why is because when people own property, whether it's their residential property or buy-to-let property, investment property, people have a different level of value for the property because they know if the glass breaks, I'm going to have to fix it. They know if the sink breaks, I'm going to have to fix it. If the fence breaks, I'm going to have to fix it. So psychologically, that shifts their mentality around how they can deal with and treat other people's things. Okay. And just ask yourself, I'm one of those people, I tell myself, no, I take care of a rental car. I will treat a rental car as well as I'll treat my actual own car. Let me tell you something. I've got contrary evidence to that. Okay. The last rental car I had, very nice, C200 Mercedes, I think, or C350 Mercedes. Had this Mercedes for about 2 weeks. Last day with the Mercedes, okay? I I scuffed the alloy wheel. I scuffed the alloy wheel. Let me tell you something. I got some great alloys on my car, and let me tell you something. I don't think I've ever scuffed the alloy wheel. So to me, the evidence is there, because up until that time when I had that Mercedes for 2 weeks, I'm telling you something. I would always tell people I treat rental cars the same way I treat my own car. All those people that say, oh no, it's a principle, you never treat things you rent as well as the things you own. It's not true. Well, at least not for me. Let me tell you something, guys. I've got contrary evidence. Okay? Because I'm sure it might not have been the last time, but there was a time I was given a rental car for 2 weeks. I was driving a very nice Mercedes. And on the last day, I decided, by accident, of course, but I scuffed the alloy wheel. And it said something to me. It said, Samuel, you're not taking care of this as much as you take care of your own. It taught me something. It made me realize, you know what? The principle is the truth. Okay? Now, I can feel like I'm exclusive. I can act like I'm exclusive. I can say, no, that doesn't apply to me. I'm just lying to myself. I've now found from the contrary evidence that it's actually the truth. We don't treat things we rent as well generally as things we own. Why is this important? Because property ownership, property investment speaks the same level of volumes. Statistically, in areas where people have a higher proportion of home ownership, you find that there is statistically less rioting that takes place in that area. Okay, that's the first one. Second statistic I'll give you guys. Do you know? This is so funny. Do you know that home ownership has an effect on generational wealth? Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that people that own their homes are less likely to leave debt to the next generation? I want you to go and do the research and come back and tell me, guys, do you know that? Do you know that when people own their own properties, statistically, they are less likely, far less likely to leave debt behind? Now, why is this important? This is important because we live in a generation where people die and don't know who's going to pay for their funeral. Guys, we need to think about this. How can everyone in the world know that we're going to die? Everybody knows they're going to die. Unless you're fooling yourself. Everyone knows they're going to die someday. So in that case, how do you know something's going to happen and not prepare for it? And not put something aside, a little 3,000, 10,000, 20,000. I don't know how elaborate you want your funeral to be, your sending off to be. But how can everyone know they're going to die, but no one puts something aside and says, you know what? I don't want my children to have to pay for this. I don't want my children to have to be scrambling to work out money to make this happen. How can everybody know that this thing is inevitable, but they don't even put something aside for it? Now, the thing that's interesting, again, guys, maybe it's a bit morbid what I'm talking about, but guys, we got to be real. I told you, I'm spending time with real people. I want to be a real person. The reality is this. People who generally tend to own their home across the board, generally, I'm generalizing here, but statistically what they say is that people who own their homes are less likely to leave debt behind for their children. And when we're talking about debt, we're talking about consumer debt. We're talking about a £20,000 credit card here, a £30,000 car on HP there. People statistically that generally own their properties, that own their home, are statistically less likely to leave debt behind. So when you understand these two principles, okay, and I'm going to give you a third, but when you understand these two principles, do you start to see what I mean when I say, if you're able to use the news article I shared earlier, your newfound knowledge that there's potentially a way you can buy a house for 30% of a discount, 50% of a discount, if you're able to do that, why you should come back to the show, why you should come back to our email, info@impactproperties.co.uk, and just send a quick email and just say, look, dear Impact Properties team, I just wanted to say thank you. Because Samuel shared this concept, and as a result, I was able to buy a house for 30% of a discount than the price I thought it was going to be. And as a result, I now know that I'm contributing to the factor that potentially this area will have more homeowners, and as a byproduct, we would reduce the ability for people to riot, or the plan or the thought process of people deciding to riot. Or now I know that I'm less likely statistically to leave debt behind for my children. Hope people are getting value from this content. See, because that's the reality, guys. That's the reality. That's the reality. When you understand the statistics, it helps you start to understand how things should operate different. It helps you to understand how things can change for you. Okay? Guys, you see, these statistics, they're not being shared because I want people to feel like, oh, I own a house, I'm better than someone else. No, guys. It's just success. I tell you this all the time, guys. Success leaves clues. So when we see these clues, we should be the kind of people that say, okay, I'm going to follow that. I'm going to follow the clue. I'm going to follow the clue because I want success. Success leaves clues. So when you see the clues, follow the clues. First one, rioting is radically reduced by proportionally in areas where people own their home. Second one, okay? If you own your own home, you become part of the group that are less likely to leave consumer debt to the next generation, okay? Third statistic, hope you're ready for this one. Pens at the ready. Third statistic. People who own property generally tend in their lifetime to be better off in retirement. Hope you understand that. Now, why is this important? Well, guys, you know me. I'm always talking about retirement. I'm always talking about when you decide to hang up your gloves, hang up your ballerina shoes, whatever it is you do. And the reality that we have to understand is that the probabilities favor people who own homes over every other group of people when it comes to retirement. Generally, people who own property, whether it be investment property or their own residential property, they put themselves in a different caliber of class when it comes to retirement. And sometimes the reason why is just because they can offload that house, they can sell that house, even if it's their own residential home, they can sell that house, liquidate, and downsize, and have a pot of cash, which their specific pension didn't provide. The government pension didn't provide. When you've got a state pension and a working pension, and neither of them allow you to get more than Rivita each week, but you've got a property that you bought 35 years ago and your 30-year mortgage ended 5 years ago, and for the last 5 years you've had surplus income because you haven't been paying your mortgage, which is why I teach people to learn to live for free as the first principle. You see, these things are so important, guys, because we need to use them to move further faster in our property investing journey. So they're the 3 statistics I wanted to share with you guys. And hopefully you're going to utilize your understanding of that to move forward in your property journey. So let's jump in. We got one more before we wrap up. I might give you a bonus. Should I give you a bonus? Let me know if you want a bonus. I said I was going to share with you guys 4 ways to improve your property investing journey. If you want a 5th way, let me know in the chat. Write the word bonus and I'll give you a 5th way. So the 4th way is build a trusted team over time. Okay? Like I shared, the first way was to help you save time. Use tried and tested strategies. The second way was all about you developing your property investment talent by developing yourself continually. The third way was all about you advancing yourself, okay, through means of taking the revenue you generate and reinvesting what you make in order to build for your next set of reserves. But the 4th way is build a trusted team over time. This is why I created this resource, Team 10. Discover your property power team. That's exactly what this says, and that's exactly what we try to help you guys do. You see, if over time, when you buy your first property, second property, third property, fourth property, you are developing a successful power team, you are radically advancing yourself compared to other people in the property field. You are radically advancing yourself compared to other people in the property sector. You are putting behind yourself not only the powerhouse of your own developed knowledge because you're developing yourself daily, but you're also advancing yourself because you're building a success team behind you. Point number 4, to help you improve your property investing journey and develop even more success, is that you need to build a trusted team over time. I haven't seen the word bonus in the chat, so I assume you guys don't want any bonus, and that's okay with me. But if you guys do want the bonus, throw it in the chat. Let me know you want the bonus, and we will jump into the bonus number 5. Okay? But so far, there's your 4, guys. 4 ways that you can radically improve your property investing journey. Now, guys, I want to take this opportunity to give a big thank you to all of you who have let me know that you are winning in your property investing journey in any way, shape, or form, like Orlan from last week, and all of the other hundreds of people who have let me know over time that they are moving forward with their property investment journey as a result of our content. Those of you who have subscribed as well, appreciate you guys. All of the people who have ever commented on our videos, those of you who are with me right now on the live show, commenting through the live chat, letting us know that you are getting value. We appreciate you guys, as well as those of you who have ever jumped onto our Amazon wish list and bought any products for our content creation studio that we are in the process of building, as well as those who have donated to our channel in order to help us move further, faster in property investing, and also as it pertains to producing value for you guys. Now, if you're someone who wants to pay it forward, you've got content or value from our show, and you're like, you know what, Samuel, I wish I could just support your channel in some way. I've thrown in the chat right now the link, impactproperties.co.uk/studio build. You can go to our Amazon wish list and you can purchase something to contribute to our content creation studio, which when it's finished, you're going to be able to see whatever you buy in the actual studio, because that's where it's going to live. So guys, if you're interested in that and developing the studio with us, feel free to do that. Side by side with that, if you're one of those people who just want to donate to the cause, you don't want to take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes trying to work out what to buy for the studio, feel free to use the link I've just thrown in the chat, which is impactproperties.co.uk/donate, where you can donate to the channel so that you can help our content creation studio come to life faster. Now, at this point, I have seen your bonus comments in the chat, guys. I'm coming back to you. I ain't gonna forget you. I ain't gonna forget my people, because I love my people. What I want you guys to know right now is our key resource for today's episode, episode 60 of the Impact Investing Show, is this thing right here. And I want to encourage you to go get that. This is the 7 best books for your property investing success. And you can get that very simply by going to the link right there, impactproperties.co.uk/book list. Can you say that again? That's impactproperties.co.uk/book list. You can go and get absolutely free my recommendations of the 7 best books you can use. A number of those books are audio books for those of you who don't like reading. A number of those books are obviously hardback, paperback for those of you like me who do like reading. And a number of those books are e-books or Kindle books, so you can get that on your tablet, iPad, etc. and read away even at night and annoy your spouse in bed. But the point is, go to the link, impactproperties.co.uk/book list, and you can go get your free book list, which will break down for you the 7 best books for your property investing success. Go get the book list. It's absolutely free. Whoo! Hope you guys have got value. Now, I'm about to jump into the chat to see if there's any questions. If people have, let us know what property challenges they are facing. And as I do that, I'm also going to look at the few comments that have come through to see what you guys are saying. If you haven't hit that like button, you know what to do. If you haven't hit subscribe, you know what to do too. And if you have not started to massage that bell notification, let the bell notification know that you care and you love it and you want it to be engaged with you. Now, Mandy says, need a bonus. KTR says, give us the bonus. So here's the bonus. The 5th way that you can ensure that you improve your property investing journey is by getting yourself a coach, a mentor, or a teacher, okay, who can give you guidance, okay? And it's just that simple. Some of you jump on this show, love the show, take the value, use the value. But what you have to understand is that there are people like me who will coach people, hold them to account for a sustained period of time, which will allow those people to achieve a level of success way beyond what they could do on their own, okay? So step number 5, way number 5, secret number 5, if you want to radically improve your property investment journey, let me tell you something. It's not just about using tried and tested strategies. That's a key. But you know how you get those tried and tested strategies sometimes if you don't know what they are? Through means of step number 5, the bonus, having a coach, having a teacher, having a mentor. So like I said before, I'll reel it from the top. The first one is to use tried and tested strategies. The second one is to ensure that you are developing yourself continually. The third way that you radically improve your property investing journey is to reinvest what you make in order to get yourself prepared for your next set of reserves that are going to be needed. The fourth way is to build a trusted power team. Build a trusted team that can support you and help you and show you how to move forward. Support you to move forward. So you're not doing all the work, but you're doing the work with them. But the fifth way, your bonus, is find yourself a coach, mentor, and or teacher who can give you guidance throughout the journey. These 5 things, if you decide to do these 5 things, I can assure you, I can encourage you, I can explicitly tell you that they will help you move further faster in your property investing journey and put you in a space way beyond where you could put yourself as it pertains to property. So guys, with that being said, you didn't just get the 4, you got the bonus, which was 1 more. What I want you guys to do is let me know in the chat if you have got value on today's show. Have you got value on today's show? Let Samuel Ikhinmwin know. Have you got value on today's show? Woo! Guys, I feel like I've just been in the show today, giving that value like never before. But look, here's a few announcements. If you're one of the people who heard about the 21 days of your property investing success today, and you're thinking, you know what, that sounds quite powerful. That sounds like something I might be interested in. I actually might like having 21 days spent with Samuel, learning about how I can get success in my property investing journey. Well, I've just thrown the link in the chat. Free content, impactproperties.co.uk/day 1. That will take you to the first day of the 21 days in order for you to watch that content and start to learn how you can have success in your property investment journey. Side by side with that, as I've mentioned, the links are already in the chat for those of you who want to donate to the channel. Links are already in the chat for those of you who want to jump on the Amazon wish list. And side by side with all of that, we've got a Facebook group. If you want to join the Facebook group, jump in the chat. Jump in the description. We got the links in the description for you to join our Facebook group. Now, before I disappear, let me just jump into the chat and see what you guys are saying. See if there's any questions I missed. See if there's any comments I did not see. Let me see. I got KTR in the chat who says great value. I got Mandy who says yes, value. Mandy, glad you got some value on your first time here. KTR, I know that you're a regular, so I'm glad you're still getting value every time you come around here. This is what we do, guys. This is what we do, guys. So let me have a quick check. Guys, I should just ask you guys, have I missed any comments? Are there any comments or questions you had which I have not seen? Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me know in the chat if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. Okay, I'm looking through. Mandy said joke. Okay, I missed that one. What was the joke, Mandy? Let me know what was the joke. Did I miss the joke? I like a joke. Most of the time on the live show, the joke's on me, but it's all good. KTR knows what I'm talking about, where they start laughing at me because I'm speaking Spanish, thinking I'm speaking Italian or the other way around. This is so helpful. Awesome. I think I've actually caught up. I'm actually caught up with all of the chat. So that's great. So today's show was a great one, and I kept up with the whole chat. So guys, with all of that being said, it's that time of the video where I tell you, if you haven't, I want to encourage you to go and watch this video right here. This video will break down to you how you can actually invest in property right now. Yes, I mean right now in 2021 and beyond, without even doing certain things that you might have thought you'd have to do. Because in this video here, how to invest in property in 2021 and beyond, I'm going to break that down for you in 8 short minutes. So if you haven't gone and seen that video, straight after this video, go see that video. With all of that being said, I'm Samuel Ikhinmwin. I've loved spending time with you, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday on the live show. And as I usually say, happy investing. See you on the next one.